welcome back to the garden. A little different view. I actually have me a chair today. If you are new to my channel, my name is Tisha. I am in Florida and I live in Zone 9B, so typically our weather is mostly tropical outside of hurricane season. But this is where I am. So today, I know you guys have been in this garden. Those that have been with me, you know it's been all kinds of ups and downs in this garden. So today what I want to talk about, while I'm just playing in the dirt as usual, some of my garden fails, like what's worked for me, what hasn't worked for me, what I'm still trying, what I'm testing, and I wanted to share that with y'all. So this is now the month of March. If you haven't seen it yet, you will see it soon. I am getting ready to post, or I think by the time you see this, I would have posted my March seed drop. I've dropped so many things, guys. Just wait till you see it. It's a lot of seeds going in this garden. Well, I wanted to make this video because, we drop seeds all the time. And, I've said it before. It's no fault of your own if they don't germinate. Sometimes your seeds just don't, for whatever reason. It could be weather-based. I know for me, last year was very challenging because we had hurricane after hurricane after, oh my God. So every time I would drop something, if it did get a chance to germinate, it was blown away, or it didn't germinate at all because the seeds couldn't get settled because it was too much saturation out here. Or they came and went. That's really it. Or they literally blew away. So forgive the animals. We have dogs. This is dog nation out here. But yeah, some of my challenges, I started my garden in, what year are we in? We're in 25. I started my garden in the spring of 2024. So I am very new to gardening. Now, not new around garden type stuff. My grandmother kept fruit trees in the yard. We always had to go pick berries, pecans, they say in the South, or pecans. We had to do those things. So we're accustomed to having grapefruit trees, peach trees, orange trees, mulberry trees in the yard. So it was always something to do and always something to pick. But for me as a new gardener, I've had my days of discouragement, y'all. Listen, I've dropped seeds and in hopes and I see something sprouting and then something happens. So I will tell you, I'm in the year of tomatoes, if you've noticed. So what I will tell you though, seeds that I planted for tomatoes in this area, for me, my seeds have not done well. My prolific tomato plant right now came from my compost, believe it or not. Now I did plant my cherry tomatoes, which has been very productive, very fruitful. But my volunteer tomato plant is the one that has been giving me everything that I need and then some. To date, I think I've harvested at least 5 or 6 times off of that one plant, and I've shared with 3 families already, 4 including my own. So we've had lots and lots of tomatoes, and I'll take you over there in a little bit. I just harvested like 2 days ago, and it's time to go get some more off of that plant. So tomatoes have been very well volunteer wise. Seeds, not so much for me. Why? I don't know. Because my tomato plant is volunteer, that tells me that my soil is lacking something, because clearly the compost is everything that you would need in your soil, all kinds of nutrients, because you got to remember it's scraps, food peels. Sometimes you have seeds in there, but skins from different fruits and vegetables. So that tells me that wherever I planted my original seeds, it just didn't have enough of what it needed. So this year I'm doing something a little bit different. If you see my soil back there, I do have some Kellogg's garden soil, and I also have, which I've used this before, the Miracle-Gro potting mix. I've used that before, but I'm doing both just to help my soil out. So in addition to using compost soil, I'm also using that too this year. So I strictly used compost last year, outside of things that I actually potted first and then planted in the ground. So that worked for me on some things. So tomatoes on my own, no go. Compost volunteer, absolute. Avocados. My little avocado tree I'm sitting next to right now, that is also volunteer. I've planted a couple of seeds, and for some reason it's just whatever you're giving it, sometimes it's not enough. They need a lot of nutrients, a lot. So that would explain why all of the ones that I do have, successfully have, they were volunteer. So this one here next to me is volunteer. If you've seen it already, we did relocate our volunteer avocado from where the bok choy was. That was also volunteer. The day that I planted the seeds for the bok choy, I saw it in there. I was like, yeah, I'll leave it in there. If it sprouts, it sprouts. You know, whatever. It sprouted, y'all. So because I potted that and I gave it this potting soil and a few things, and I did mix a little bit of compost in there as well, that seed took off in that pot. Anything that I've actually put in the ground for something, it has not taken off. So I've gotten 2 volunteers successfully, and guess what, y'all? It's another one in my compost right now. So what I've learned is that my avocados, when they're little like that, they just don't like being moved. Because I did have another one over here, and that one didn't make it because it just didn't like the move. So I'm waiting till they get a little bit older, a little bit more mature, and then I'm moving them. This one seemed to have taken off pretty well on its own. And, you know, I just gave it a little bit of love. I talk to it all the time, and it's doing its thing. So, but that was volunteer. So far we have a prolific tomato plant that was volunteer. This beautiful avocado, waiting to see what it does because I'm so excited about it. It's also volunteer. So that tells me the scraps that I have all the nutrients that I need. I just need to probably utilize my compost more, which I am, in addition to soil. So what else has worked for me besides volunteer? Transplants. I have a papaya tree that has successfully made it through some of the worst hurricanes we have had in this area, and that was a transplanted plant. So transplants have worked for me. Volunteer has worked for me. Now I did plant a papaya, but when I moved it, it didn't like it. So that tells me I need to wait till my plants, because I have no problem with the papaya germinating. I had great success with that. However, waiting till they get to be a little bit older, then, move them. So transplant worked on the papaya, but that tree was a lot older. I did have a successful volunteer, but upon moving it, it said no. I think it was still too young, and it did not like the move. So that was also another volunteer success story. What did not work for me? My epic fails last year. I had pumpkin, Jamaican pumpkin, and the seeds were planted. They did very well. Well, we did have a lot of hurricane activity, and the way pumpkins grow, they like to vine. They have to have something to climb on. Sorry, y'all, I got little ants and stuff down here. I had something for it to climb on. The problem is when the storms came through, it would pop all of the vines, the tendrils, and because of that, I could not grow pumpkins. So that tells me I have to have it in an area where it still gets sun, pretty much like kind of where I'm at, but I'll have to get another type of trellis system because this is my grow bed, and typically people use this for flowers. I have flowers, but I'm using this here area just for growing food. So pumpkin, not so much. I will give a shout out to Marie on Farming on the Rocks. Hey Marie, she is in Kingston, Jamaica. Marie is actually my first person to ever subscribe to my channel. I love her so much. She's such a darling. But because of the area in Jamaica where she lives is mountainous, she grows in all containers. She's grown successful pumpkin in containers. That has given me another idea to probably try to do something like that. So I may try that, but I will do it in a different area. But what I learned with Hurricane Milton, Having a fence is good and bad. If your fence fall, I mean, it's a hurricane. But if it's strong enough to withstand and it stays, it really truly protects your plant. And I honestly believe that's why this avocado is still here, and why a couple of little plants that I have here survive Milton, because of this defense. So having a fence helps. So pumpkin, not so much. I may try again, and maybe a container. I may try that, because this area, while it's good, I just learned from the way the winds during hurricane type weather wrap around the house, that is not ideal for something that's climbing. It's just gonna blow, and that's exactly what it did. Now, rooted plants, they do come back. However, if you have something harvest, if you're lucky, you can just harvest what you want, and then, you know, if the season isn't too bad in zone 9 being Florida, then you can obviously, you know, cut off the dead stuff and then, you know, let it come on back. So pumpkins did not work for me. Cantaloupe. Now, cantaloupe worked. However, I think with our season, I think the timing of when I planted it versus the timing of when it actually took off and we got harvest, that was a bit of a challenge. Although I did have one successful cantaloupe to harvest, I could have gotten more. So what failed for me, I didn't plant enough seeds. That's one. And two, the timing, I think, because at the time when things were flowering and getting ready to take off, hurricane season, again, it's a vining plant. So if the winds are heavy or high, it's going to pop everything or blow away your plant. So if you don't have it in a secure area, this is an open space. So there's only so much covering you can do when you have high winds like that, such as a Hurricane Milton. Okay. So cantaloupe, while we did get one and it was tasty, we didn't get any more after that. And the little ones that we did get, we got a nice epic freeze this year where North Florida received 8 inches of snow. Like, it was ice everywhere out here in my yard. So yeah, that cantaloupe did not make it. So we only got one. Another epic fail was watermelon. I had a sugar baby watermelon, and I don't think the timing on this was off. I just think because we had another hurricane, and it, again, another vining plant. So what I've learned in our area, because we live in an area where hurricanes are unpredictable, your vining plants, you need to have a plan B for them. Either have them in an area where it's if you know how winds, so we live in Florida, we get thunderstorms all the time, and some of our thunderstorms can have up to 40, 50 miles per hour winds. We are exposed to that pretty much at any point throughout the season. So we just have to be careful with growing vining plants and have a plan B for anything that vines, such as a watermelon, a cantaloupe, even our tomatoes. Like, I thought my tomatoes weren't going to make it in this year's freeze, because the winds, although we did not get snow in my area, we did get ice, and my plants suffered a little bit. However, my tomatoes were still young, so it didn't really affect it too much. So now the sun's out and we're pretty much into our springtime, they're okay. But again, another vining plant. So having a plan B for vining plants in Florida, period, because our hurricanes go from north to south. It doesn't matter. They don't discriminate. You just need to have a plan B for your vining plants. So our watermelon, while we did get one, it wasn't mature enough for me to taste it. So it was beautiful, but that was about it. And it had plenty seeds in it. I think if that storm hadn't come, that probably would have been a very tasty tomato, watermelon. So what else did not work for me? Butternut squash, another vining plant. We did get one, and I was able to cook it. It was absolutely delicious, and that was lovely. I saved the seeds from that squash and dropping some more. You know, I'm still gonna plant. I just say that anything vining in our area, you just have to have a plan B for anything vining. Let's see, what else? Potatoes, epic fail. I mean, they did give me a little bit of I got some greenery. Honey, when I went in there, those potatoes had disintegrated. There was nothing left, not even a eye, a skin, nothing. Gone. Okay, potatoes did not work for me. That was an epic fail. Sweet potatoes were absolutely great. We did get a great harvest off of them. One sweet potato, and I'll tell you, with the sweet potatoes, that is exactly how I started my garden, y'all. I saw a sweet potato in my pantry. I think it was like after Thanksgiving, and it sprouted. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go and plant this, because I've been meaning to go ahead and get started. And that's what started it for me. When I saw that sweet potato growing, it lit a fire under my feet. And now what you see back here is, you know, that's what did it, that one sweet potato. Because I said, I'm not going to go another year and keep walking past my area where I want to do things and I'm not doing anything with it. I keep talking. Lip service will get you nothing. and debating with yourself on why you should or should not do something, or I don't have the time. It'll get you nothing in your garden. You have to put one foot forward and just go for it. Take a leap of faith. It is one of the most relaxing things you can do for yourself and your family, but more for yourself, like just bonding with nature and growing your own food. It's a wonderful experience. And even if you don't have yard space, you can use containers, you can use your balcony, you can use your patio. There's ways of growing things. I just told one of my coworkers today that with the way the markets and all this stuff is going on, it is just food security. You have to just make sure you have something. If I don't have nothing but lettuce and tomato, I'm gonna make the best doggone lettuce tomato salad I can. You know, that's my thing. You got to be able to nourish yourself, and if you get sick, you know, just a little potted plant of chamomile or rosemary. Rosemary's good for cold and flu season. I mean, a lot of people don't know that, but rosemary tea is phenomenal. When I got sick with the flu, man, me and my husband were in here knocking out all kinds of stuff. Rosemary, we have mint, we have lemongrass, fever grass, as they call it in Jamaica. We were in here boiling all kinds of bush tea, because that is what sustains you. I mean, you got to think about it. Our elders, ancestors, didn't have all these pills and stuff to pop. So how did they take care of themselves? Think about it, y'all. So, you know, if you can't even plant nothing but a clove of garlic, onion, those also make teas as well. You can eat them with honey when you're sick. And, you know, garlic is antibiotic, you guys. Like, yeah. So another fail for me, garlic, as I'm telling you to plant it. Garlic has not been my friend. I've tried. I did do a different method. I did sprout root on some of my garlic in the house. Thanks to my husband. He gave me a great idea. Now I'm letting the soil do what it does and see if it actually takes off. But we did get some roots on it this time. So let's see. But in the past, garlic has not been my friend as far as planting it. I haven't had great success with that. Also epic fail, onions. Oh my God. Y'all, my little area, my seed dropped in December. I put so many chives and onion seeds on the other side, on my herbal side, and nothing. I got one little teeny weeny little something. It was onion, you could tell. It didn't do anything, y'all. I mean, goodness sakes. So my area where my collard greens are, okay, that originally was supposed to be an onion area along with the greens. You know, I just put them side by side. We're going to have onions and greens together. No. No. It did not make it. But one of my onions made it. Now, I have to find that little critter. I'm telling you, I know the rabbit was here. I saw a rabbit poo next to my papaya. So I know the rabbit has been here. If you go back a few videos, my onion was next there because I was praising. I was like, oh wow, it's getting big. The entire onion is gone, y'all. So something dug it up and ate it, because I mean, I could see if the top was eaten off, the entire little tiny onion I had is gone. So Mr. Bunny, Miss Bunny, has been back in my garden, and we gonna have to have a heart to heart. Okay. When I had pumpkin here, the leaves were so beautiful. Like it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. The bunny would hide there. Now that that's gone, it's just now just nibbling wherever it wants to nibble. So we're gonna have to do something about that. But that was another epic fail. Even the one little one I had, unfortunately, that's gone. So I mean, you're gonna have some good things and bad things, and so far that's where I'm at. Another garden success though, my bananas. We waited 2 years for our beautiful bananas, and we did plant that from a transplant. That was not volunteer or anything like that. That was a transplant, and it did very well. So I picked the good one. Because sometimes you have bananas and they get big and they're good for shade and you don't get anything. But this was actually a fruitful plant, and they look phenomenal, y'all. Like I'm so proud. I won't call this a fail, but it's a delayed response. I'll just say that, because our mango tree, we've had that tree. We've had that for a while. I don't remember what year Hurricane Irma was, but I know we had it during Hurricane Irma, and we had a weird winter freeze somewhere along those lines where the tree looked like it was down to nothing. So my husband took it literally and cut the mango down to a stick like this. And it's come back flourished. It looks absolutely beautiful. But there's no fruit on it. And I know we've had that for some years now. We do have 2 more, and they're just babies. But again, I just think with the soil, it doesn't have enough nutrients. So what I'm doing this year is that as I'm feeding them, watering them, I'm giving them extra nutrients. Like I have a citrus fertilizer for fruit trees such as mangoes and papayas and bananas and mango and avocado. So what I do is I'll sprinkle that down there. It's a 3-month feed. Sprinkle that down there, and then I give it the soil and then water it. So from now on, that's my approach, because I just don't think that our soil has enough of what it needs. In addition to planting in ground, I've said it many times before, guys. My husband's grass is so aggressive. That's why you see this. I'm making space over here to plant some more callaloo, and I literally have to cut a space out because this stuff is so aggressive. I'm being careful because I did move one of our earthworms, and I'm trying not to disturb them. But I really want to get this area dug out here. I'll show you real quick. So I'm just making a pathway. I did see I may have about 2 more plants outside of this big one, but I have seeds too. So I'm dropping seeds for that as well on my little tripod. I'm dropping seeds for that as well today. So that's what we're doing here. Before the sun sets, I just thought it would be nice to come out here and soak up some of the sun just a little bit. And then also just talk about some of the things that have worked for me in this garden and what hasn't. So far, that's it. Now, oh, and corn. Corn didn't work. And I just think the timing of it and, well, the timing and weather. It's the same thing. Like the storm came through and it blew it down. It was still standing and trying to produce. You know, it gave off the silks and everything. And I saw corn forming, but these storms just wiped it out. It didn't stand a chance. After Milton, it was really over. But yeah, I'm planting more corn. It's doing very well. I relocated in a different area, and I'm enjoying what's happening there. So those are the things that have worked, and clearly cherry tomatoes has worked. That's the only tomato type plant that I planted, and it actually made it. Yeah, I had a transplant on my banana peppers. That thing has been prolific. I am concerned with it though, because I just think the soil it doesn't have enough to sustain it for it to get bigger. It's small and mighty. That small plant has given me so many banana peppers. I'm floored because it's so tucked in that you can't even see them on there. And that's a problem because if the leaves are the same color as the pepper, something's missing. So my plan is I'm not gonna bother it right this minute, but I think since I'm out here, I might be able to get away with it. I'm gonna dig it up, okay, and give it some of that nice little soil back here. Put that down in there and give it some blood meal and put it back in there so it can think about it overnight what just happened to it. And I'm hoping that that will give it a kickstart to start to grow again, because it was covered when I had the last crop or pending crop of butternut squash there. It was covered with mealybugs and all kinds of little white flies and stuff like that. So I topped it. When I topped it, it started flowering and gave me more peppers. So pests were a problem for it. And I think it just needs more nutrients. So we're going to work on that. If I have enough time, by the time I finish digging this area out and cleaning it up and making it nice and pretty, well, neat, then I will probably dig that up and relocate it or leave it in the same spot. But it definitely needs some help, because now, in addition to where it is, it's also competing with my cherry tomato plant, which is greedy, because it is flowering again and I have tomatoes to pick off of there now. So I will be giving out gifts of tomatoes this weekend. But yeah, that's it, guys. I just wanted to give you a little chit chat. Nothing too spectacular going on, other than I'm just dropping some more callaloo seeds here, and just try to also give this what it needs as well. So I am going to mix some of that soil in here, water it really good, and drop those seeds so we can actually harvest off some of this delicious Jamaican spinach. Because I'm telling you, fresh callaloo in the morning with some green banana, with some yam and pumpkin and yum. Maybe that's what we'll have for breakfast in the morning. I don't know where I'm going to get some fresh callaloo, but sometimes you get in the can. I mean, you can doctor it up, but fresh is always better. Fresh is always better. So I'll see you guys. I just wanted to stop by and say hi, and to talk about what has worked in my garden and what hasn't. So like I said, being a year in, this March has been a year since I've started my garden. I'm still impressed with the things that have taken off in here. It hasn't all been doom and gloom. Has it been a challenge? Yeah, but most of my issues in this area of Florida has been weather, believe it or not, because the volunteers come, which is good. If you compost, you can get a lot of free, especially if you're lazy gardening, do that compost. And if you have avocados, we eat avocados all the time. It's a wonder we don't have 10 trees back here growing. I'm so serious, because I don't do anything with them other than throw them in the compost. And if I get a volunteer, I try to take care of it. I've lost, I think, maybe 2 trees through the volunteer. Now, I'll tell you, all of them don't take off, okay? All of them don't. But at one point in time, I had about, I think I lost 3 trees. I had about 5 or 6. They just kept coming, just sprouting up like, hey, we're here. So the key to that, I'll tell you, I think it's how you cut your avocado. When I slice it in half, I pop the seed out. My mother-in-law, Rose, taught me that. Pop the seed out, and it gives it kind of like a little cut in there. My husband did that too. And I think that's the gateway. So when you put it in the compost, all that nice mix of all that nutritious goodness from stuff you've eaten and all that, it just seeps in there, and it helps the seed germinate and take off, and then you get your plant. So I mean, listen, guys, compost. You'll be surprised. I've gotten some nice goodies out of compost, and I'm still looking at them growing. So if you're lazy gardening, compost works. Throw your seeds in there, and just if you are strategically using it for that, these are just, I don't care, I just throw it back there, and if I get something, okay. But if you're strategically doing it, then just put it on a side where you know, okay, this area I'm putting on my avocado seeds here, so if they all take off here, I know what that is. Sometimes I leave stuff there and I was like, I don't know what that is. It looks like food, not a weed, and I'll just wait. And that's how I got the papaya. I just waited. So yeah, I'll give you guys a quick tour. I mean, there's really nothing to see because you just saw it in the other video. But I will tell you how fast this corn is growing. We can look at that because that's new. Look at that. Just drop those seeds, y'all. It's doing very well. Very, very well. The other thing I'm proud of, I'll take you over here. Our cabbages are doing really good. In the last video, we did separate them. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. We finally got around to doing that. It's been I know. But they are doing good. I'm very, very proud. Very proud. There's the purple one. Okay. I have some regular green in Copenhagen, and I do have some Chinese cabbage, so I don't know what's what or who's who yet. As they grow, we'll find out. Okay. And there's that avocado. Like I told y'all, I didn't want to move it. Look at this. So we're just going to give it some time to adjust. That's why I didn't stick it in the ground yet, because we're just waiting, Now, our seeds we did just drop. I will tell you so far, look at this, y'all. The radish is here. Our broccoli is here. We got sweet peas that are here. It looks like we got some spinach over here. Broccoli rabe is there. Oh my God, Swiss chard. I don't know about the Roma tomato, but it looks like we got some butter crunch lettuce and our other lettuce right there. So those are all new to the garden, y'all. I'm so excited. So excited. Now garlic. Remember I just told you that did not do well for me last year. Using my husband's method, it looks like we got something. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it alone. Got a little spider activity here, I don't mind. And see what they do. Okay, so far so good. I mean, I can't complain, really can't. So that's what it's looking like, y'all. And then I don't think I really have anything else to show you other than the chili peppers. They are making a comeback. I'm super excited about that. Look at this. I'm so happy. Yeah, they're making a nice comeback. There's some flowers right there. So I'm gonna leave it alone and let it do what it's doing. My Scotch bonnet is acting like it wants to do something this year, so let's see. And I think that's it. That's really all I got. And these tomatoes, guys, look, y'all just saw me harvest some tomatoes, okay? Look at this. Gotta come back out here. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just so thankful. I am. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. So until next time, I'm gonna go ahead and finish in here. You'll see this finished product in one of these videos coming up. But all I'm doing is just dropping some more callaloo, so we can have more. Like this poor little plant, it survived Hurricane Milton, so I think it deserves to spread out. And again, I only chopped it up to having a fence here because if we didn't have that fence, this wouldn't be here. I promise you it wouldn't be. So anyway, look at that sunshine. I love it. It's a beautiful afternoon. The sun's getting ready to set. And like I said, I am thinking of moving that pepper. I may leave it there, but it definitely needs some help. So if I don't do that this evening, I'll do it first thing in the morning when it's quiet and cool over here. I would prefer to do it in the evening time, so with all the stuff that we're doing, it won't get mad at me. It'll have time to sleep it off. Another thing I did some pest control today. That worked for me during last season. Is just staying on top of checking for pests constantly, because I don't spray. The only time that I actually had to actively spray is when I had squash bugs out here, and that was just some soapy water and peppermint oil, food grade or just regular peppermint oil. But yeah, that was the only time I sprayed. But as far as like spraying, I hand remove everything. When I had the pumpkin, I had to take worms off, get the little worms and stuff like that. But the only thing I've actually sprayed for was squash bugs in my garden. So, and I shared it. I sprayed on the little white flies too, when the sweet potato started. But yeah, that's it. So, that worked for me. Checking frequently, like our garbage can is here. So I know if I'm coming out to take the trash out, I just quickly look and make sure there's nothing on there. And that's it. So checking your plants frequently for bugs, pests. If you spray, that's your prerogative. You can do that. If you're choosing not to spray, I'd say checking often, just to make sure that your plants are clear from bug activity. Other than that, those are my great successes. And as you can see, what is still successful, this is what's left from success. These are growing just at their own pace, so there's the avocado I was telling you about, another volunteer. And this is what I was telling you. You find goodies. I'm sure that is food right there. Some type. Ginger, everything is still doing its thing. Some things are struggling and some things are not. I see you, little moth. I'm going to get you because you're not laying any babies here in my garden. But yeah, so just checking your compost often if you're choosing to strategically compost with a purpose to receive goodies from there, or check for pests. Those things help a great deal, but the compost is your friend, I promise. I mean, that tomato plant that you just saw, that is from my compost, and I saw it and I said, I'll just leave it, and it has fed a couple of families. Okay, so that's it. I am moving on to finish this project here, drop some seeds here, and just play in the dirt a little bit. I like playing in the dirt, y'all. So until next time, you guys have a great day. Enjoy your Friday evening. I am going to finish this here, and then I will catch you guys on another video. I may be back out here Saturday because, again, the epic fail of not having successful onions. We do need to replant those onions. We got to have them. I cook too much. And if you haven't checked out my cooking channel, I haven't posted over there in a while because I've been focusing on just trying to get this garden going. But I cook every day, y'all. I'm always cooking something. But I do have a nice catalog of videos on plant-based meals. If you are interested, it is T's Veggie Treats on YouTube. I will put a link for that in this video, and check me out. The goal was, and just like I said, and still is, everything that's in this garden will be cooked in the kitchen. That's the goal. So we're already on our way with our tomatoes, and we've used them. Our banana peppers, we've used them. Like I told you, when we're sick, all our medicinal rosemary and plants over there, we use for tea. Whether we're sick or not, we just enjoy tea in this house. So yeah, that's the goal. When those avocados come, you won't see me I'll have my own. I don't need to go buy them anymore. When those bananas are done, trust, I will. That's breakfast. So yeah, you guys, that's the goal. So check me out on my cooking channel, T's Veggie Treats, and I'm sure I got something. I have something for everybody. Yeah, so have a good day, and see you next time. Bye.